Venku is the #1 platform to book hunting trips online. Search and compare over 3,000 guided and self-guided hunts available across the United States. From pristine ranches out west for elk to fast-paced Texas hog hunts and swampy Louisiana gator camp, you can book it online at venku.com. If you're an outfitter who spends all your time in the field, Venku takes the headache out of keeping up with the business side of your operation. Venku handles payment processing, waivers, bookings, and simplifies communication with clients. Get started for free at venku.com. You are listening to Off the X Podcast with your hosts, Forrest Carvajal, Tyler Wells, Barrett Moon, and Matt Covington. Brought to you by Venku, Adventure Awaits. Pattern Pros, where simplicity meets results. Hunt Proof, the premier waterfowl mobile app. Migra, custom waterfowl ammunition. Rixie Outdoors. Wellens Land, Arkansas's leading real estate and development group. And Pond Creek Duck Calls. Call with confidence.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Off the X Podcast. I'm Forrest Carvajal, here again with some of my best good friends, Mr. Matt Covington. How are you?
I'm doing well. Over in Memphis this week.
We are in Memphis at the Ducks Expo, Ducks Unlimited Expo. Mr. Tyler Wells, how are you?
I'm doing well, other than I'm having a hard time this week keeping up what day it is.
No joke. If you listen to the last episode, we were at the Delta Waterfowl Expo. Now we're at another expo, totally different state, and it's so much quieter. Like, that was the first thing. As soon as you said go, I was like, this one is different because the last one there was duck calls and there was the crowd chatter, and it's like here, silence.
Yeah, we took over the boardroom. We don't even know if we're allowed to be here. We just kind of acted like we were. So here we are.
So if there's an abrupt end to this
they caught us. They caught us.
Something happened. But let me introduce our guest here, because I've been trying to get him on for a while, and he's just such a busy guy. I'm so excited for this interview, or for this episode. Mr. Ryan Yarnell, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, guys. Doing good. Thanks for having me. And, good to be here in Memphis. I feel like we've been seeing each other the last few weeks here. Delta, now Ducks. And, it's good to be here. I got my clothes at 3 o'clock this morning, so that made me happy.
He was naked running around the streets at 2 o'clock this morning.
I was going to show up here in my underwear today at Ducks. It's been interesting how that turned out. I probably lost my job. But
Start the show with a show.
That's right.
I love it. So you're running on like 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, something like that. I'm here. I'm good at that, I think, at least especially during duck season.
From the little bit that we've gotten to know each other over the last year or so, because I think we introduced ourselves about a year ago, that's one thing I've learned about you is you are non-freaking stop.
I want to stop. I'm ready to stop sometimes, but I keep it moving. It keeps life interesting. So pretty blessed on all fronts. Can't complain. But yes, it seems to be a busy world these days.
Yeah. Oh, I'm jealous of the people that are like you that seem like endless amounts of energy. I don't have that. I hit a hard wall some days, and it's just like hit the wall, go to bed. Like, I have to stop.
Yep.
I chewed tobacco for most of my life and smoked cigarettes, and I feel like that was a crutch that you could lean on. Nicotine, energy, all the above, and been off of those things for a long time now, and it didn't change much. I'm still going. Coffee, as you say, I'm on Gun Dog Grind here, and they're doing really well at these shows, it seems like.
I haven't tried that yet.
It's good. I actually stopped by the Shin booth, and they had some, and but I stop by their booth a good bit at these shows. They always are gracious enough to have coffee for us.
Yeah, might have to go try some. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start a little bit farther back. You and I are actually from the same area.
Correct.
Southwest Arkansas, Texarkana. I want to know, like, how the duck hunting got into your world too, but we knew nothing of each other till like a year or two ago.
Well, it turns out that I'm ancient these days. Somewhere along the way, I got into my mid-40s. I was raised in Texarkana by a father. That duck hunted. That's what we did. We didn't deer hunt. My grandfather deer hunted. and my uncle's deer hunted, but my father was a duck hunter. And from the time I was 9 years old, he just took me. And he took me over and over and over and over and over, whether I wanted to go or not. And graciously and thankfully, I did want to go. And that's kind of how and it got in my blood. My brother, I have one sibling, he doesn't hunt. And I think that the punishment that my father put us through, he was like, the heck with this. I'm going to play sports and do something else. And I just was a glutton for punishment, I guess. My dad was a large man, 6'5", 6'6". He had a long stride, and I can remember so many days at, 10, 12, 14 years old of him. I mean, honestly, I hate to even admit this because today's world, you'd probably get thrown in prison for treating your kid like this. But I mean, he would just leave and wander off. We'd be in the Saline River bottoms or somewhere in Arkansas, and you could just hear him barking on that call in the woods, shooting. And, I'm just trudging along in old red ball waders. They were too big, and I'm about probably crying half the time. I got my 20 gauge. I'm not killing anything. And then Dad would walk back by and drop some ducks off with me, and you'd hear him another 200-300 yards off in the woods banging on them.
You were just an extra 4 ducks to kill.
And he was a killer. I like to think I took a stride in his steps as I got older. And I did get tall. So I got where I could keep up.
Yeah, some of us didn't.
I was wondering if it was a Southwest Arkansas thing for, the height restriction, but then you come walking in, and I'm like, well, apparently not.
No, definitely not.
I gained that advantage. I don't know if I was as good a shot as he was or as good a caller as he was, but at least I could keep up. So,
hey.
But that's kind of, that's the backstory there. Millwood Lake that we both have a lot of ties to around. I mean, that's where I spent most of my life. I still have a camp there with some friends, and that's kind of a church for me. Millwood is. So
Millwood is a special little place in Southwest Arkansas. It really is. And I can remember my uncle and my grandfather hunting in Millwood, and when I got old enough to go, my grandfather was at the age where he was like, I ain't messing with the rat race. So we didn't go on Millwood just a whole heck of a lot to duck hunt. But we did end up eventually getting a lease right next to Millwood.
Which is a really good spot.
And I wonder how he knows that it's such a good spot. So we had this spot, and I can say it now because we don't have it anymore, and I don't know if anybody's got it right now, honestly. But Millwood is almost kind of like a big circle.
Don't say what spot it is, just in case.
Why not?
Well, because maybe we'll buy it one day. We might get lucky.
That's true. Well, that's too bad. I'm about to say it. I'm about to ruin it for everybody. But there's this one big point that leads out into the lake. Okay, well, that was where we got to hunt. And it had this old slough in it, and it had these 2 big lakes on it. We just called it the big lakes. But every year the water level was kind of different in that slough. Some years there was a good amount of water. Some years there wasn't much any. And I can remember there was a few times that we had to run some people off because it's right next to the lake, okay? I never got to see these people. Had I seen one of them that was 6'4", 6'5", I might not have been as loud in my efforts to get them off. But did you go ahead?
I mean, I want to say we were good outlaws. I never got run off. I certainly laid low and watched people go by and saw some folks at times. But overall, yes, the one big slough. And to be honest, I mean, I think that it was a gray area.
Yes, technically it is. There is a line right there where you legally can't be on public.
And we weren't overly just trying to trespass, but it was also those times where, at that age, if there was ducks, we were going to go kill them, especially if we didn't see anybody hunting them. We'd do our due diligence and watch and see. And, this was before Onyx when I first started hunting in there, before any kind of maps. I mean, I think you get on like Castrol or something, or is that what it was? Castrol, Cadastral, something. Yeah. I can't remember what the early satellite map was. It told you property lines, but yes, Cadastral. Anyway, as time went on, we started watching. You could see the boundary lines through the middle, but we would slip in there and hunt. I mean, and we had some banger hunts on that area. And eventually, people could hear us shooting, right, on the lake, on the big lake.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing you know, we started pulling up. There's other boats on this divider, how do we call it, from the lake to there's a big thing that divided the lake from their lease. But Anyway, when Forrest and I first got to talking and got to meeting, talking duck calls and stuff, this kind of came up, and I was like, man, I got to tell you something. Like we hunted that a lot. And,
dude, I laughed so hard. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it because there was only twice that I actually was there and we ran people off, and one time we actually had the argument with whoever was out there, and they're like, well, there's this line or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but you're across the fence. Like
you're over the line.
You're over the line. The line is over there. We actually had that argument with whoever it was, whether it's you or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I do remember one specific time. Wind was really up. We were at the far southwest corner of the slough, back where it actually backed up into the willow bushes, like in the willows, okay? So it wasn't the big slough. It was way down there. Had a lot of water. And the wind was blowing towards us. So we're, waiting on shooting light. Hadn't seen any lights come over the divider. And there for a minute, I'm like, well, it sure sounds like, that sounds more like a duck call. That doesn't sound like ducks. Waited there. And like, that's 100% people talking. Finally realized, like, there's people 70 yards, 80 yards up from us. So I'm like, oh, Lord, we got people in here. It's just me and my uncle at this point in time. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to let you know I'm here. So I'll blow my duck call just as hard as I can. Well, here they go. Start blowing their calls like crazy. I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm not trying to like.
Forrest like, dang, I sound too good.
Yeah, Forrest is bragging. Forrest like,
happened again. Dang, I got to walk.
And I tried it again. Well, both me and my uncle are the same size. We're not, we're not big guys. We're like, I don't know what we'd get into if we go up there. I swear if we'd have walked up there and it had been Ryan and somebody else Ryan's size, we'd have been like, yeah, y'all can be here. We're good.
Y'all want to hunt together?
In fact, y'all want to come over here with us?
But we hunted and it finally got to shooting light, and I blew my call a bunch. They just blow their duck calls back like I was a duck. I was like, geez, this is ridiculous. Well, finally we had two mallards come in. They came in. Me and my uncle shot them. Boom, boom. They dropped. And all of a sudden, I blew my duck call. It was quiet. Yeah. It was real quiet from then on. I was looking over there. I kept waiting to see somebody come up and over. And I never did. Finally, I walked up and over and looked, and there was still a boat over there. And I was like, if I was a bad person, I would walk down here right now and pull the plug. Like, that's what I wanted to do because you're on my property.
Or push that boat.
Or push it out.
To the
Give it a little nudge.
Here we go. Yeah. I may or may not have done that in life.
Yeah. But I was like, and thinking back on it when we were first talking, I was like, how hilarious, how small of a world is it that potentially this person that I was super pissed off with at one point in my life, I'm sitting on the phone dying laughing about the situation now.
I mean, and honestly, truth be told on this, we never ran into anybody. Like we never, we never heard anybody hunting. We were pretty particular on when we went and things. And
we tried to manage it.
Yeah, we did 100%. Right. We did. No lie. But you know what's funny is, I mean, I can remember the morning that three of us hunted that slough.
Yeah.
We shot our limit of mallards. We shot two banded geese.
Yep.
Which are the state park geese.
Yep.
Which pretty much all of them are banded.
Right.
Hawkers. I mean, you hear them, look, and we would just run up on top of the levee. We'd blow that brush on top of the levee, get under and boom, 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 kill them. You're like, oh, another band. They're all murky. Those bands are dark.
Oh,
Those geese have been, they're 20 years old probably.
They're old. Yeah, they're old. We've got a bunch of them too.
It's kind of sad, but I mean, we certainly, if they came by, they were getting shot. It was legal, right? We're going to get it.
Absolutely.
And so, and then we were running out to the boat ramp on the lake that's close to that area, again, undisclosed location. And we bumped up a ton of canvasbacks.
Yep.
And we were like, and we had been seeing them more and more. So we pull in. I had my old dog Boss. I remember we pulled out, all three of us, and shot a 3-man limit of canvasbacks. And that was a heck of a morning. And, that was kind of the end of those days for Millwood Lake, I felt like, where things like that would happen. I mean, go ahead. Sorry. No.
I've got a question because my grand uncle and his friend, they had that place for a while before I got to ever hunt it. And nobody had ever killed a banded duck out there until the last year that we had it. Me and my cousin co-shot a banded greenhead together. And to this day, that's the only banded duck that I know of. We killed a bunch of banded geese. Did y'all ever kill a banded duck out there?
I mean, we killed a good bit of bands on Millwood over
the years. I'm talking about that one slough. That one slough. As many ducks got shot out of there.
I can't remember.
That only one ever got shot.
Maybe a teal or something. It's hard to remember. I mean, that's, with the friends that, I was never like a band guy. Like I never was the guy that had to have the band. Mm-hmm. So when bands got shot, your buddies, everybody's shooting. I never was I don't remember.
You want to know
if
where
I knew I shot a band, I took it. You
want to know where that duck was banded?
Where?
Montana.
Are you serious?
Yep.
What a ride!
Yeah.
He got lost in a storm. I mean,
Well, where do you live now?
Yeah, Montana. It's funny. I mean, because I've hunted in Arkansas, hunting at like Straight Lake and stuff with Max and people. You kill a band there, and it was banded there.
Yeah, yeah,
Come
exactly.
back, and I always thought that was cool. I was like, but I don't know that I've ever shot a band from Montana. I've shot bands in Montana, but they were always banded in Alberta or Saskatchewan or something. I've never heard of anybody shooting a band in Arkansas or East Texas that came from Montana.
I know.
That's super cool.
Pretty neat.
What kind of duck was it?
Greenhead.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking. I didn't put that
And your
together
uncle
until
shot
just
it?
now, honestly. Do what?
You said your uncle shot it?
No, me and my cousin both shot it. So what happened is a drake and a hen came in at the same time.
You shot the hen.
And no, they paired up together. Like it was literally like they went together at the same time, and it was boom, one of those things. And we walk out there, and my cousin's like, the drake's banded. And it's like, well, what were you shooting at? Because obviously at this point, well, we were both shooting at the drake.
Yeah. I was shooting at the one with the band on it. If it was a hen, we were both shooting at the hen.
Exactly. Well, I had already killed a banded duck, so I was like, well, that was his first one, so he got that one. But yeah, there's no way to tell. We both obviously shot it, but whatever. But yeah, so grew up in the same area. Where'd you go after that?
Oh man. Went off to college down in College Station. And then from there, I started river guiding, whitewater raft guiding one summer. My cousin, who's a year younger than me, and another friend from home, from Texarkana, called me. I was in summer school taking, college algebra for the 87th time. And actually, it's only the second or third, but who's counting?
Felt like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know algebra, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah, right. Struggle. But anyway, I was in summer school, and they called me, and they're like, and I would always take everybody canoeing on the Buffalo River in Arkansas. Like, started going to church camps as a young kid, stuff, and just always loved the water. My whole family was water people. Spent our summers at the lake, blah, blah. So anyway, from that, I was taking spring break trips with friends canoeing. Well, my cousin being one of them and this other friend, well, they ended up in Tennessee somehow, and they were on the Pigeon River in the Smoky Mountains, and they became raft guides, and they called me, and they were like, you have to come up here and check this out. You'd love this. Well, me being me, I dropped out of summer school. I had zero money. I maxed out a credit card and drove my old F-150 to East Tennessee, like 14 hours. I show up.
Drop of a hat.
Broke as the 10 Commandments, and got no, I'm like, all right, I need some work. Sorry, that's awful. But I took a couple of float trips down the river, and they needed a guide, and the owner was like, you want to take a boat? And I was eating paper plates with butter on them. I was like, heck yeah, I'll take a boat, So I just kind of took to it like a duck to water, and I've spent the next, 17 years chasing rivers all over the United States and a little bit South America. And that became my life. And then ski bumming in the winters and duck hunting. More or less, it was a kind of a cycle, depending on what rivers I was on. I always made it back to Arkansas, which back then Arkansas was still lights out.
Yeah.
And it was home. Yeah. And I have my core group of buddies I grew up with, all big duck hunters. And, I'd come home, hunt ducks in the fall, spend the whole duck season, get done in January, head to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, snowboard the rest of the winter. And then in the spring, when the snow started melting, start chasing rivers again. By that point, I was in California, the Sierras.
Wow.
And, we just kind of, that's what we did.
Dude, you've seen some places.
I've been blessed. The Lord's kept me safe, number one.
Mm-hmm.
My mama does a lot of praying.
Obviously. Yeah. White river rafting, all these places, duck hunting, doing all this crazy stuff, trespassing.
Yeah. Not me. I was always on the right side of the fence. My friends would be on the purple paint hunting club side. I would stay I'd shoot from over here. I'm good at long shots.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
But yes, I've been very blessed in that manner. I've lived a good adventurous life and grateful for that. Like I said, I've talked about this many times. It seems like over the last few years, and I can remember, also in those years when we were duck hunting in Arkansas. Mind you, no kids, no bills, no mortgages, no nothing. Right? You go make a pile of money in the summer, and I would just spend it duck hunting. and then show up and ski bum broke. But I had a job and, enough to pay bills and eat for
Start
the
the
rest
cycle
of the ski
over.
season. Yeah, then you go, then you go into your money season, which was whitewater raft guiding. And, as that time grew too, we got into crazier and crazier water. We were running bigger water, guiding Class 5 rivers, and there's a lot of ego involved, but also, there was before GoPros and before cameras and before, we were doing a lot of dumb stuff because we were just dumb. You know what I mean? Now people are like, oh, let's go film doing this. We were like, let's just go run this waterfall. And there's nobody there. If we drowned, they would just find our bodies at some point, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of safety, and there certainly wasn't cameras involved. But back to the duck hunting, I'd come home to Arkansas, and we were exploring, Oklahoma, Kansas. This would have been in the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And I can remember going to Kansas in like 05, 06, I feel like, and there was nobody. There was a lot of ducks.
Yeah.
And there was no people. And finding just little places, just random, a friend of ours would be deer hunting up there and call and be like, hey man, there's this impoundment with, it's a WMA or, whatever it was in Kansas. And they'd be like, there's this impoundment. And he's like, he wasn't a big duck hunter, but somebody we had taken, a friend. And he'd be like, man, there's thousands of ducks, it seems like, on this thing. Well, we would pack up in Arkansas, drive through the night, fall asleep in the car, wake up, or in a crappy hotel, and go scout. And I remember one of the first times we pulled up on this certain place in Kansas, there was about 150,000 ducks on it.
Wow.
We were like, yeah. I have some pictures, and we were like, I got a picture of my buddy standing there with his arms up like this, and the sky is just full, like you're like,
Awesome.
And so we had our way with that for a while, and then as time goes on, you'd see more trucks and more people, and good for everybody, right? We want people hunting, but just looking back on those early days of that, again, just thinking about being a kid. I hunted Biomeda when I was 9, 10, 12, whatever it was. You could still guide in there, right? It wasn't WMA. There was permanent blinds and outfitters.
It's crazy to me, all the changes that you've seen and the fact that you've noticed them the way that you've noticed them, because there's a lot of stuff that I wish I could go back and like actually see the changes, but I guess I was blind to it or wasn't paying attention right. So what are some of the good things you're seeing right now?
Well, I'd say that people are starting to pay attention on a good side of we're losing our resource, right?
Yeah.
People are starting to really pay attention. I think all of us, I know I help with doing some habitat stuff in Montana, whether it's private land or not, whatever helps the ducks. I get it. People are like, oh, there's food plots and hot spots and whatever. Everybody's got an excuse on why duck hunting is changing. The number one thing ducks hate is pressure. And we got a lot of it in concentrated areas, it would seem. And on a positive side, I think more and more people are realizing that, especially people that have influence in this
Space
that we're in. Thank you. And that's a good thing, right? And so people are trying to do more. They're trying to have better etiquette. We've been talking, I think a lot more people are starting to realize, again, if you're in Arkansas somewhere that has a lot of public land use, which is a blessing, but not as many ducks at times. Okay, well, if you pull into a hole and there's 3 guys and you got 3 guys, hunt together, or vice versa. It's like, we're all stewards of the land, and we're all in this, we all love it. I have to, what you were saying about seeing the changes, I don't know that I noticed at the times.
Yeah.
But I look back, as years have gone on, there's times where you look back and you reflect and you're like, all right, like my father and my uncles, or my uncle and I call my dad's first cousin my uncle as well, because they're all that age. Those guys never thought of conservation. They went out there and they wore ducks out. They wore them out. They killed mallards every day, probably sometimes twice a day.
Yeah.
Maybe they did shoot over the limit. Maybe they didn't. But no one thought that resource was going away. I didn't even know there was ducks anywhere but Arkansas and East Texas when I grew up, because that's where we hunted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was, I just thought, I didn't know there was ducks in Nebraska or Idaho or Montana or even Canada. We never talked about where they came from. But, by the time you're 15 or 16, that stuff starts, you start realizing there's a migration, even though, again, I knew there was a migration, but it never dawned on me what that entailed.
Yeah.
when I was young.
I think you bring that. I think that's a really good point there. When you were young, so even for us three, well, I don't know about Matt, but when we were young, you'll see where I'm going. When we were young, it was Ducks Unlimited magazine or Delta Waterfowl magazine. It was a magazine where we got our information.
Right.
Well, you only got that magazine once a month, anyhow. Nowadays, with social media, it's instant. Like a young person understands from somebody from Montana or Nebraska or Kansas or Oklahoma instantly there's ducks. Okay? A 14, 15-year-old now knows all these places that have ducks. I didn't know that. I can remember the first time I read in Ducks Unlimited, the Arkansas duck capital of the world, Stuttgart. I remember reading that thinking, Arkansas has one of the best, didn't even dawn on me.
Right.
Whereas you can go talk to any of these kids out here at the Delta Water or Ducks Unlimited Expo, and most of them are going to know multiple states of good places. So the young person learns so much more now compared to when we were young.
Right. My son's 5. I mean, he can tell you a mallard, a gadwall, a wood duck, and a widgeon probably right out of the gate.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's also because, not because of the internet, because I think, at least for me and for guys like you, it's because we weren't raised with that kind of knowledge at that young age. Yeah. My daddy wasn't that was their out. They were passionate hunters, but that's what they got away from work and from life and stress. They went out there and they drank beer or whiskey and camp or whatever they did, and they duck hunted, whereas I love watching the sunrise and the sunset. Not that they didn't, but duck hunting is not an escape for me. It's something that I love, and it's a way of life. And I'm teaching, I'm sure you guys are doing the same. I know you have children. I know about you guys, but I take my boy, he's 5, I'm teaching him how to blow a duck call, even if it's just for fun or whatever, whether he wants to do it in life or not. Those are the things that I think have also changed a lot from that generation to now. Is, we are, again, that's a good thing. We're teaching conservation. We're teaching our kids about habitat and ducks, because also, as you said, the internet's a great resource for us. I mean, good Lord, you can watch the migration on the internet every day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're here.
I'll tell you something else that
we wonder why we're killing them all.
Right.
There's all the pressure.
Yeah.
Something that you have transcended exceptionally well, and I wanted to talk about it on here, is a lot of the, and I say older generation, I don't mean it in a bad way, but the ones like us that grew up pre-Mojo, we'll say that. Right. We tend to get stuck in the good old days. We hunted like this. We did it for this reason. This is the good old days. This is how you duck hunt. Whereas now the stuff that's kind of leading the trends is more hype, more energy, more fun, faster. It's a more youthful look at duck hunting. Right. And that older generation, not that they hate it, but it's kind of like it rubs them a weird way. Well, you've transcended that. You came from that era, but you mix really, really well with the younger generation as well. And right. I respect the heck out of that, because it's not that you've changed who you are, but you're listening to a different voice. Now, I'm sure that if something came up to where you're like, whoa, let's not do that.
Right.
You would speak up. But can you talk about that, how you've seen that, and how you've kind of been able to transcend that?
There might be some young guys that say, whoa, don't do that to me.
Maybe. They might be.
Yeah.
No, we cannot roost shoot. No, I'm just kidding.
Last day of season.
I had to say something silly. Yeah, right. Look, at the end of the day, it has changed a lot, and I've done my best to be a part of those changing times. I don't know that I would say how I have transcended that. I think it's just who I am, how my personality works. It's just kind of, I chase. I'm fortunate enough to have good friends throughout the country: Mississippi, Arkansas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, whether they're outfitters, private land, public land hunters. I chase ducks from Canada to Mississippi almost every year and back. And I think it's a learning curve, right? If I was still doing the same things that my dad and them did 25, 30 years ago, I wouldn't be killing very many ducks.
You're right.
And maybe I'm not killing very many ducks anyway. I don't know. I'm doing my best. But the importance to me is the fellowship. It really is. I can't say that enough. Being with friends, having new friends, watching the sunrise. I mean, God's given this beautiful earth to us to enjoy, and we're blessed with so much, especially in this country. I mean, there's no other country that has what we have with public land access and all that. Now, there's lots of countries with good duck hunting, things like that, but even Canada. I mean, we're blessed to have Canada. You can drive there. I mean, it may be a long ways from Arkansas, but in 35 hours, which is not that far in my world.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I drive from Montana to Texarkana 3 times a year sometimes.
Oh, my
It's 26 hours one way.
Holy mackerel.
You know, like I'm a dog, you know, or my kids or, you know, whatever. But, I mean, and that's where family is. And if I'm coming home, I'm bringing the whole shebang typically. But all that being said is, you know, we're very blessed with a lot of land, a lot of land use, and a resource that if we take care of it, it's going to continue to produce. Hopefully we have, you know, Ducks Unlimited doing great things and other conservation groups. And that's really awesome too. I mean, here we are all doing our part at these things. I encourage everyone to get out and help, you know, with nesting, predator control. I mean, there's so much to be done on our part too, instead of just waiting for some conservation group to do it.
Yeah.
You know, predators have a place too, but I'm not going to let them just eat all my duck eggs.
Amen.
Yes.
I met a girl last week at the Delta Waterfowl Expo that her name is Madison Escherman or something. I'm probably getting that wrong, but they live in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Did y'all see her?
Yeah,
I saw the
met her.
video.
Yeah, exactly. And so I went and told Rusty Creasy, and Max Sharp told me, and I mean, I was spreading the word. People were spreading the word, but I mean, this girl is going to farmers and saying, "Hey, here's some crates for eggs. If you are going to run over, you know, there's the nesting is in the field when they're cutting hay." And she's like, "If you see a mallard hen blow up, you know, stop, grab the eggs, put them in here. I'll come get them from you." And she's incubating those babies and raising them. Turning them. Now, are they living? I don't know. From
They
there
wouldn't
on,
be if they got hit by that tractor.
second chance is what she's calling it, right?
I like that.
At least it's a start, you know. But I'm kind of gotten way off subject here. At the end of the day, we're all stewards of this land. I feel blessed to have seen the changes and be a part of changes. There's some great youth coming up. You know, again, I think it's people like myself and all of us as part to help teach etiquette, be polite. I mean, you see all this mess at boat ramps and people fighting in the water. And, I mean, I promise you that I'm not the guy you want to have that happen with. I'm probably just going to run over you with my boat and just keep going, you know. Like, I ain't looking to argue over no duck hole, you know. Like, let's go. You know, like it's a resource we should all be sharing. But I get it. I mean, we do get competitive, and but that's silly. If you're at a boat ramp or a duck hole and that's happening with your friends, somebody intervene. Stop that. It's not that much ego. It's ducks. The ducks don't care who wins the fight.
Yep.
I mean, actually, the ducks win because you're probably going to blow up the hole and no one's going to kill anything.
Hey, you're going to mess everybody's day up. That's exactly what's going to happen.
But, you know, I mean, that's silly. We should all be helping each other, in which most part we do, right? You see a boat broke down, somebody stopping. You see, you know, someone in need. If someone needs shells and I'm in the woods or they drop their gun, I mean, if I have a spare, I mean, I have no problem trying to help. And I think majority of people are that way too. And so, but the biggest part is I feel like it's, you know, it's all of our parts to help with, you know, we should all be helping do better in this industry because the ducks are the number one goal. And, you know, they seem to be, you know, and kind of wavering on.
Yeah. The whole population and everything, and that's a whole other topic that we could get into, but I think we're going to stay away from it. But, yeah, their whole population, that's breeding grounds has taken such a big hit. But before we go, how much time have we gone? Because I
32 minutes.
32 minutes, okay. I didn't want to go too far. Turtlebox. I want to hear how you got involved with Turtlebox, because all of us at this table love it. Mm-hmm. But tell us a little bit about how you got involved in your role with Turtlebox.
Well, a lot of praying. And that ain't no lie. So I was blessed to work for some great people and some great companies. And, you know, the company I was working for before was going in a different direction, it seemed. And it's a really great brand, but I saw a post for the job for the hunt community for Turtlebox, and you know, I knew the Turtlebox guys. I had been on some dove hunts with them and met the founders. There's 4 of them. They're incredible humans, faith-based, family-based. That says a lot in today's world too. And another good friend of mine was in the community marketing. He was kind of overall, Sloan Brown as overall community marketing. I reached out and, there was a lot of people applying for the job, it sounded like, but, I put my resume in and jokingly they must have been desperate because they, like you guys, somehow here I am, but it's been a blessing. They've been very good to me. I've been through a lot in the last year. And they've, been there for me, and that's huge. And but they're just an incredible company. It's been a rocket ship, and I think that says a lot about the leadership of this brand. We are very blessed in the direction this brand is going. I hope it continues to go that way. I feel like with the team we have, it's going to. But there has been a lot of growth, as you guys have seen as well.
Very rapidly, too.
I don't sleep much. And I can't, and I know the rest of the team has got to be busier than me probably. But raising two boys and trying to live the lifestyle you want to live and have a job that benefits that lifestyle. But, you got to work, right? Everybody's got to get behind a plow and, or get behind, hook up to the plow and let it go. And so that's what I do every day. And Turtlebox has been an incredible job.
The Turtleboxes, I remember when they first kind of came out. I think Barrett was the first. Was Barrett the first one that had one? Yeah. And I remember our first experience using one. We used it like after a hunt because we were excited. We had a fun hunt. We played it the 200 yards back to the boat ramp. It was
yeah.
But I can remember as they were coming out, I was like, what is this thing? Like, it's just a speaker. And then I was like, okay, well, it's solid. I picked it up. I was like, dude, this thing is really freaking solid. And then it's waterproof and all this other stuff. And then this person had it. And then this person had it. And this person had it. I was paying attention. And this has been a year or two now, I guess. But I was visiting with family. And we went to watch a movie. And I was like, okay, what movie we're going to watch? Had all the kids with us. And the kids picked Superman. And I was like, I don't want to watch Superman because I like the Henry Cavill Superman. I like that one. And this new one, this guy just looks dorky. Well, we're watching Superman, and then all of a sudden there's this close-up of a Turtlebox in this blockbuster movie. And I'm like, hey, I know that thing.
I got so many text messages. People were like the Luxor box or whatever it was called. And,
yes.
But which is awesome. I have no idea how it ended up in there. I don't know if no one at Turtlebox mentioned it. No one sent them one. I mean, I think that was just
wow.
It just popped up. I wanted to ask about it because that's why I brought it up, because I was like, normally with something like that, especially if it's like a close up of the actual product, I was like, okay, there's a deal that was made here. Who came to who for this deal?
Not that I know of, and no one at work said anything. I mean, I know we have a text thread with the community and everybody was like, that's crazy.
It was awesome.
I didn't hear anybody say, yeah, we seeded that or sent that or asked. I mean, I think they just used it. And again, that's how how blessed we've been at this company. There's so many good brands out there doing good things, but, I don't think, I'm going to say this conceitedly, there's not another speaker out there that holds a candle to us. And show me one. I'll throw it in the river and make sure it sinks.
Yeah, well, y'all's doesn't sink, so.
Exactly. That's what I meant. But, again, it's been a heck of a ride. I was looking for some change in my life, in my career path, and, I prayed heavily about it, and it was answered, and I couldn't be more grateful. And we just continue on this path and keep doing what we do. We have great community at Turtlebox. Just amongst, people like yourselves and our friends and everybody in the industry, whether it's fishing or hunting or skiing, rodeo. I mean, we're touching all aspects of it, and it's pretty incredible to watch. And
that's what I was going to say. Like, your product speaks for itself, amazing product, but to see the culture that y'all have shaped and created around a speaker has been really fun to watch from the outside.
I mean, that's, again, I have to give Sloan Brown a lot of props on that too. As community director, he's done an amazing job with that direction. And again, with the leadership at our company, and allowing people like Sloan to do his job and our community marketing people to do their job. I mean, we do our best. And if we have questions, we ask, and, we don't always get it right, but we're working hard at it. And I think, just we have a good warranty. We stand behind our product. We're not, we're not trying to put garbage on the market. We're trying to put the best of the best. And I feel like we've done a good job of that. And so, anyway, we appreciate the love for sure and the support that we've had. There's no doubt that it's a fun product to have, and I love everywhere you walk, you see it, and we're having a great time with it. So, yeah, appreciate that, though.
I like the community building that you just said, Matt. But it's also like, to me, the people that I've seen representing the brand is like what I was just talking about with you. I've seen the newer age 24/7 guys. I consider those guys the newer age, the hype, the excitement, the fun side, which I love. They show that. And then I look over here and we've got Toxie Hayes. Not that he's not into fun and all this other stuff, but Toxie Hayes is Mossy Oak. You know, he is the tradition.
Right.
And
Legacy.
he's promoting it too, legacy. So it's like y'all have been able to bridge both those gaps.
And it
I'm
makes
like,
sense for everybody,
freak,
too.
yes.
It's not like you're just going out and getting this random person and throwing them a Turtlebox and, hey, here's some money, go promote this for us. Like, everybody that you see with the brand, it's like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, and Forrest, you said it best. I mean, look, 24/7, those guys are great friends, incredible humans. They're doing awesome stuff themselves. They have an incredible brand. And then you talk about someone like Toxie, who obviously has built one of the most incredible brands ever in the hunting industry. And his son, his children are friends of mine, and Neil and Daniel, great humans. And they're doing such cool stuff. And the fact that Toxie has a Turtlebox, like bridging that gap is pretty incredible. But music's everyone loves music. It's like the tide that brings the ships in, they say. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm jamming music everywhere. I should have brought a Ranger with me, my personal, because I'm in my room just getting dressed, and I'm like, dang, my phone's not loud enough. I wish I had my Ranger. Like it's crazy. I mean, you're in the shower with a speaker and stuff. Half the time, and my kid carries the speakers around in our hot tub with my old Gen 1. When my kid was a baby, he's like floating on it, like a floaty in the hot tub and stuff. I mean, it's a pretty awesome product.
When y'all released the Ranger and like used the golf as one of the things to promote it, like putting it to the magnet to the golf cart, I was like, oh my gosh, that was such a brilliant move. I just freaking loved it.
And the magnet's stout. I was just with Can-Am, 2 days ago, riding around, and I mean, you just slap it on, and I mean, we're rallying in Montana. And it stays.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My neighbor pulled up the other day, and I mean, just blaring music. And I was like, man, what system you have in here? He's like, pulls the Ranger down. He's like, this is what I'm using. I'm like, it's that loud? And he's like, yeah. And I mean, he wasn't creeping down the drive when he come in. I was like, I'm amazed I didn't fall off and hit you in the head. And he's like, dude, man, it's stout. And he put it up there, and you could hear it just solid.
I couldn't be more proud to tow that flag.
So are y'all going to put one on the outside of a duck boat, roll through the flooded timber, and see how long it lasts?
Well, if it wasn't aluminum, it would work.
First of all, it won't stick to the side of a boat because our magnet doesn't go to aluminum. But
well, that just shows my ignorance. But anyhow,
throw it on the side of the motor, maybe somewhere.
There you go.
There you go.
There's metal somewhere on that boat that it'll connect to.
But I mean, Daryl Morris, he's the best with his graphs. Because they have metal brackets.
There you go.
He sends me a picture one day. He's got it slapped to the metal bracket on the side of his graph. I was like, genius. That was great. But it was something to be said, too, like rolling through the timber. Look, we don't, we want people to be smart about where they play music, too, right? Because obviously we can catch a lot of slack over music being in certain places. I think, people can be smart about what they do. I mean, obviously, it's the same with a gun. Whoever's in control of it's the one that you need to worry about. And so I try not to come blazing out of the timber with the music too loud, but if it's a banger day, which I haven't had many in the last few years, but I might have to crank it up.
Yeah.
I will say the day we launched the Grande, I was in the woods in Arkansas this year. And we certainly had a dance party on our duck boats. We'd shot a few ducks. It was a pretty morning, good crew. I was with the Migra crew, and that's family as well. But we had a pretty good little dance party with the Grandes, and everybody's just dancing, holding the Grandes up, and dogs are looking around like, what in the world? But it was after the hunt. It was all good. But yeah, a very fun product, and I'm sure we will slap the speaker on the side of something for us, so I'll send you a picture.
You can send me a video. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. Before we go, because we got a whole show out there that we got to get back to, that I know you got to get back to. Do y'all have any more questions?
I don't. This has just been a learning experience for me because I'm in my own little world. I don't know who everybody is and everything. So when they said Ryan's coming on, and then like we've started kind of oh, that's Ryan over there. And, the more and more, and now that I'm kind of like, all right, I'm just leaning and listening, trying to learn and figure out,
You're probably losing brain cells. If you listen to me, so,
I want to know one thing you're looking forward to for duck season this year. Is there something on your mind of like, I'm ready for blah?
Yeah, duck season.
Let's go a little deeper than that.
Probably going to take my oldest boy quite a bit more this year. Looking forward to that. He's 5. Obviously, he can't hunt yet, but he's at that age now where he wants to go more. He's very, very into it. Wants to, he knows what ducks are what, or some of them. But, just, again, I always have to come back to this. I know it's generic, but just looking forward to the fellowship and watching the sunrise, I think scouting may be one of my favorite parts, especially living where I live up in the north and in the west, is, field scouting and river scouting, things like that. It's leading up to the hunt has got to be one of my favorite parts.
That's the anticipation.
Absolutely. I don't want to be like, oh, I've killed so many ducks. It don't matter, because that's not the truth. I mean, at the end of the day, I still love squeezing the trigger every single time. But I do enjoy watching people squeeze the trigger. I still, have guide part-time here and there with certain people. And, I mean, it's kind of funny. You're like, yeah, you missed, you shut that in. And the people I do that with are in a different tax bracket than all of us put together. And so it's pretty funny to, call them out. They're good friends, and I'm like, yeah, you shot way behind that duck. And I did? Oh, yeah.
A little more lead this time.
Razzing people, just kind of giving everybody a hard time. But overall, the fellowship of it and all that has got to be a very special part for me. It's definitely one of my favorite things.
My youngest was 5 this duck season, and it was his first year to go. My oldest has been, he's killed a duck, and he's enjoyed it. Like I've always known, like, he enjoys it. But Hudson, my youngest this year, I could tell, like, there was a little extra for him. It was more like me. Like, he connected to it the same way that I did. Now, he went more than Reed. There was one day that I was like, all right, we're going hunting in the morning. Y'all both want to go? They were both, yeah, we want to go. And then put Hudson to bed, and then told Reed, because Reed loves staying up late for movie night. So I was like, hey, Mom said you can have a movie night, but if you have a movie night, you can't go duck hunting in the morning. And you can see it on his face, like he's like, oh, torn. I don't know what I want to do. Well, he said, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna have a movie night. It's like, okay, so I'm not waking you up in the morning. I said, me and Hudson are gonna go. You're not going. Okay. Me and Hudson went. We killed ducks and a goose, and we had a good hunt. And it was the hunt that you could tell for Hudson. It was like he locked into it on that hunt. And then we came back, and then Reed got to see like the ducks, and you could see on his face like, I made the wrong choice.
You done messed up, Ron.
Hey, Ron, yeah, you can go to O'Shea Hennessy's office right now. Look, something I also failed to mention, because you and I have talked about this a good bit, is the dog aspect.
Yeah, you got a big dog.
Mm-hmm. And I love watching him run. He's a blast. I love watching anybody's dog run, but I certainly I'm biased to my own. He's 96 pounds of muscle, and
he's got a goose killing dog.
I mean,
no doubt.
He runs with honkers like they're mallards.
Yeah.
And Clyde is a Clydesdale.
Clyde, that's a fitting name.
I couldn't think of it off the top of my head, but I was like, I know this dog has a great name, but I can't remember what it was.
Clyde.
Well, I named him Clyde after the J.J. Cale song, which Waylon Jennings covered. Clyde played electric bass, and that's where he got his name, but he just turned out to be, his father I had as well. He was a 94-pound dog.
Jeez.
And I got pick of the litter when I bred Clyde. Clyde's mother is an incredible field trial dog. Bloodline is incredible, pheasant dogs. But, I don't pheasant hunt him at all. He's fast, he's strong. He'll pick up 100 birds, in a morning. In Canada in the field, say we'll shoot 130, he'll be the only dog. So you're helping, right? Rain out 12 birds and not get out there. But whatever he picks up, and then he'll do it again in the evening. He's 5, he just turned 5 in June. But it's tough to brag on your own dog, but at this point, I don't care. He's incredible. I love him. He's dumb. He's a lad. He has this, I was at Falco with my boys at Falco. I think last year, one of my last hunts of the season, and I just send him like he cleans a field like most of the time like no other. John David Blagg, who's one of my childhood friends, also from Texarkana, JD goes, Yarnell, what's Clyde doing? And I look, Clyde's just out there doing victory laps, and I was like, making me look like a fool in front of all these clients. I'm like, Clyde, usually he is just back and forth. But
Get it together, man.
that day he's just out there he was just, he picked one or two, and I just like said back, and I look, and he's just out there just kind of farting around. And
he said, you said it was the last day of season. I figured I could do what I want.
Yeah,
what, you going to not take me tomorrow?
So by no means, he is not the perfect dog when it comes to those kind of things, but he is the perfect dog for me. And, but you have a beautiful lab. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I haven't seen your dogs.
Yeah, we've all got them. Yeah. Matt's is 12.
Yeah, he's 12.
So I mean, he's the old man of the group.
I lost Boss at almost 13.
Did you?
His daddy, and
he's slowing down a ton, and it sucks to watch.
It does. It's the most heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But they're incredible companions, and that's the beautiful thing is they give you everything they got, and even when they're at that age, you can see it in them. They want it. They want to go. And so, anyway, but I just wanted to mention that, the dog aspect. I know everybody's got dogs.
Yeah.
I've never seen one I didn't like, unless it bit me or something. Which has yet to happen.
I wish I could bring Hank on
I was
the
going
hunt
to
with me.
say, Forrest had one
Hank's
you could
no longer
not like.
with us.
My Boykin Spaniel that I had for a couple of years. Whoo, boy.
That dog will live on in infamy.
He hasn't
forever.
passed away, but he's passed on to somebody else.
He has been passed
To
on
a better place.
multiple different owners.
Poor Hank. Is that his name?
His name was Hank. Yeah, so I had
We
him.
don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah, and I rehomed him to. I told the guy I got him from. I said, I just need you to find a good home for him. He found some rich lady out in Utah or Arizona. I can't remember which. She had a second home in one of the two, and her husband were retired lawyers. Well, anyhow, they had him, and then I get a phone call from her. She's just crying, and she said, well, I had to rehome him because her husband had diagnosed with MS, and then Hank tripped him or something or another.
Oh, goodness. Was Hank just not, what was the deal?
He had wires crossed in his head, and he
hit a fence once, and it was never the same.
He just broke.
I wish he'd have ran into a fence. It might have fixed him. Well,
My first hunt with Forrest, he was in the corner of the blind. He had Hank in a chokehold the whole hunt, and they were both
wrestling.
just shaking.
We was
over
wrestling,
there.
man.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him shut up. He wouldn't quit whining.
You're like, your arms are getting tired.
Yes.
The whole blind's just doing this because it's a death match in the corner. We got ducks bowed up in front of us, and
They're
these
like,
two are just fighting.
What are you doing? I'm trying to get him to be still.
Maybe we'll kill a duck if I can get this dog to be still.
Oh, my goodness. It was...
I have actually this
Man.
thing. I know we got to get off here in a sec. I have had a few people that had labs, griffons, whatever it was, that were that way. I mean, just you just get in the blind, and all of a sudden they'd send them for a duck, and the dog is gone, running down levees and rice fields. And people used to be yelling and screaming. I'm like, just let him stay gone.
He's helping all of
He'll
us.
figure it out.
Really, I'm like, yeah. I mean, who cares? The ducks are still coming in. You're out there screaming. Let him go. Who cares? We'll find him later.
We'll find him after
Somebody will
we
pick
kill
him
these
up at
dogs.
the
Of course, that ain't my
7-Eleven.
dog, right? Yeah. And I'm blessed. I have yet to have one of those. You know.
Oh, man.
Of course, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about strangling my dogs or nothing, but we've all had our moments with those stubborn dogs.
Had some come
Hank
to
has
Jesus
worked his way
meetings.
back. He's worked his way back to Texas from where he was just at.
He's
so
coming
he's trying
back,
to get
Tyler.
back. So if
He's coming back.
He comes back over here. He
Listen,
makes
we'll
it back
know when
over
he
here
gets
to me.
close because you'll hear him peeing on something.
That's the other thing, man. I ain't never seen a dog pee as much as Hank did.
He
It was
swam through the
unbelievable.
water, drinking water and peeing at the same
Just peeing
time,
and
just
drinking.
straight through.
Yes. He'd pee on the dog stand because he couldn't hold it anymore. And he just sit there and, oh, well, I guess I'm going here.
Bladder like a thimble.
I had
Yeah.
a family member who had a dog. When I had Boss, he had a dog named Boss as well. Different breeds, different places. Well, that dog would get so fired up around my dog, both males, both intact. And that dog backed up at duck camp one time and took a dump on the chair. He was so mad. He was like, and he just bowed up and took a dump right on the recliner, like while staring at my dog. I was like, that dog was one of those ones too that just might kind of take off. And
We'll find him later.
Now,
or not.
Yeah.
Somebody, look at this beautiful lab. Yeah, take him.
They'll bring him back.
Hank pooped in the duck blind one time. He did that one time, but most of the time it was just like he peed like everywhere. But anyhow, yeah.
Oh,
Thank y'all, boys. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, I think security
Thank
just
you.
looked through the window and they're asking, like, who are these people in here?
What is going
He's
on?
on the
I'm not
phone.
kidding.
He's on the phone.
So anyhow, we'll go ahead and get off of here. We appreciate the heck out of you, Ryan.
Thank y'all for having me. I've enjoyed it. And, you guys are doing a great thing. Love the podcast. So, and love your duck calls, by the way.
I appreciate it.
A couple of beautiful calls from Forrest, and they're absolutely phenomenal. So,
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you.
We'll catch y'all on the next one.